Every time I see this guy, I'm reminded of that Oscar Wilde quote that we're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. It's a good outlook, Mr. Pumpkin. It's that time of year when everything, including your cups of sugar and foam with a molecule of coffee somewhere at the bottom, they all get to smell like pumpkin spice. And taste like it once in a while too, depending on how you consume your coffee. Yeah, that's 100% sugar. But why should you have all the fun when your internal combustion engines can smell like pumpkin spice too? So I had a couple Amazon dollars, and I usually put those back into doing stuff for YouTube because that's kind of, I'm hoping to make a little side hustle out of this whole YouTube deal. And so I put $15 into buying some pumpkin spice exhaust odorant. And what this is a product made by Wild Willie. If you're in the UK, you might find that a little bit more amusing. And you pour it into your gas tank, and it's supposed to make your exhaust smell like pumpkin spice. They have a lot of other different odors. They have 2x4, they have beer, they have that leaf you know about, they have ex-girlfriend, I think, is one of the scents they have. And then they have stuff that you would expect, like cherry and grape, the kind of standard food scents. But I thought since it's November, pumpkin spice is probably the deal for that. Now, as you can see, I have an older muscle car or pony car. I don't care what you want to call it. This has performance catalytic converters from BBK on it. I have a lawnmower that I'm about to winterize and of course has no catalytic converters on it. And then I also have a pretend Jeep from 2015, which is all stock under the hood. And so I expect that its emission system is probably working about as well as it ever has. And so we'll be able to test this stuff out and see how much scent comes through from a lawnmower, from a car with performance exhaust, performance catalytic converters, I guess, and also from a car with modern emissions. Yeah, if I had to guess, that's probably about 2 or 3 ounces of gas at the bottom there. It's maybe 2 months old gasoline, so it's not super old. It should still be nice and fresh. This bottle says that it treats between 12 and 20 gallons. That's obviously a pretty big range. It's not super precise or scientific. And so I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit in there. Obviously with just 2 or 3 ounces of gas in the tank, that's gonna be truly drops of this stuff. And then we'll see what this thing does and frustrate my neighbors, but it's pretty late in the morning, so if they're still sleeping in, I'm not gonna feel too bad. Yeah, that smells pumpkin spicy. Yeah, I think that's probably all it's gonna take. Hopefully you don't need me to tell you that it's never safe to breathe in exhaust, especially not deliberately or concentrated. But incidentally, if you're around a motor that's running, it's going to have exhaust coming out of it. And so that's what this odorant is specifically for. So I didn't put my face right down there in the exhaust stream, but I got close enough that I was going to be in kind of the cloud it was creating. And yeah, it absolutely had a pumpkin spice smell to it. If you're curious, it's kind of more on the spice side than on the pumpkin side, meaning that it's kind of like the spices that you put into a pumpkin pie rather than the pie itself. So that's with an engine that doesn't have any kind of catalytic converter or emission control on it. So we'll see next what happens when you start up an older car with performance catalytic converters that may not be as efficient at cleaning the air as the modern, ones that came with a car from the factory. And then we'll try that in a car that has factory emissions. Some of this stuff is kind of funny on here, like 3x triple strength as compared to what? I'm not sure what 1x strength would be. And then it says professional grade fuel odorant. I'm not sure if they make an amateur grade or a discount grade version of it. I haven't seen that anywhere. But yeah, it's kind of funny that it's got that stuff on there. It says for outdoor off-road use only, exhaust fumes will kill you. Do not breathe exhaust fumes. This product does not make exhaust fumes safe to breathe. Yeah, I think that's probably fair to say. But of course, incidentally, we're going to smell the exhaust that's in the air. We're just not going to try and concentrate it. We're driving past the poop factory right now, and so I've got some pumpkin spice coming out the back of my car. I don't know if that's going to change the odor for the folks that do hard work inside there, but maybe I'll brighten their day a little tiny bit. Yeah, I gotta say, it doesn't really smell like much. It doesn't have a whole lot of scent to it, if I'm honest. The lawnmower was decisive. Unfortunately, I had to stop filming over there by the river where I was because I got rolled up on by the police. And as every retired police officer will tell you, do not talk to police. Their words, not mine. It's unfortunate that even when you're doing nothing wrong, we have to still have that wall up between polite society and those guys, but that's their decision that they made. So anyway, what we learned from that is that even with performance catalytic converters that may not be as efficient as the factory OEM ones might have been, it still seems to consume pretty much whatever compounds this thing's made out of. I was able to pick up that there was, a little spiciness about the exhaust, but I think that if I drove past someone who didn't know that they were looking for something, they wouldn't really think anything different about it. They would just be like, okay, I smell exhaust. So next I'll pop the remainder of this into the pretend Jeep, and that thing's got a completely stock catalytic converter and everything going on underneath the hood. And we'll take that for a drive to distribute the stink purdy juice around the gas tank, and then we'll see what it smells like out back. If I put my face down here, yeah, it's probably not a great idea to just put your face directly in the exhaust stream, but I did for a moment there. And it smells like nothing. It smells like just absolutely nothing. So clearly the catalytic converter that's on the car is doing an excellent job of finishing off burning whatever hydrocarbons or whatever are there. The take home for me is twofold on this, because for one thing, the performance catalytic converters on this car must obviously be doing something, since there was really not a whole lot of smell coming off the back of it. The second thing is that the intact factory exhaust system on the pretend Jeep with its factory catalytic converter and everything, it left nothing. There was just nothing coming out of the tailpipe except puffs of, to my nose, air. Obviously, we know that it's combustion byproducts, but no smell. And so the thing that you can take from this is that if you were planning on buying some of this stuff for your regular street-driven car that is emissions compliant and everything, you're probably not going to get anything out of it. I wouldn't recommend it. It would just be some juice to pour in your gas and watch your money go away. But if you're going to drive a lawnmower, or if you have a performance car or a car that's too old to have catalytic converters, something that you just drive at the racetrack, well, you might get some novelty out of it, I suppose. If you're curious and want to check it out, I put a couple links down below to Amazon, but of course you can just Google up fuel fragrance if you want to and figure out wherever you want to buy it from. Thanks for watching.